Today we're going to make a cake. And I hope some of you can come over and eat it too. I'll probably take it to work and share it at work. But anyway, in my bowl here I have almond flour, which is just blanched almonds that have been ground up pretty finely. And I want to go through this. You know, you could put this in the food processor if you wanted to and, you know, whirl it around. I'm just trying to break up any clumps that might be in there. I don't think this would go through the sifter very well. And I got this recipe from a cookbook. And I'll tell you about the cookbook in the description. And I'll tell you about the amounts and everything, you know, how much of everything in the description as well. This is, and I'm going to add the flour to this. And the recipe does not call for any baking powder, but I'm going to put a small amount in, just a half a teaspoon. Just because. And mix this all around. Just mix this real well. Better than I'm doing. I just don't want to I don't want you to sit here and watch me mix this. So mix it very, very well. And out of my refrigerator, here's my pan I'm going to bake it in. It's a Bundt Pan. It's a 15-cup Bundt Pan. And I buttered it. And then I put it in the refrigerator. Because the cookbook says that if you refrigerate after you butter it, not as much flour sticks to it, and we're not using flour this time, we're using sugar. So we're going to put the sugar around here. And excuse me, I'm going to dump out the extra sugar. And just leave it like that. In my bowl here I have my butter. It's been sitting out getting room temperature. And I'm going to use my paddle attachment and mix this around for a bit. Okay, I can tell my butter is nice and soft. I let it sit out long enough. I'm going to add the sugar. Just using granulated white sugar. And mix the sugar and the butter. Okay, I whipped the butter and the sugar about 10 minutes on the highest speed that this would go. And I'm just going to scrape it down. I scraped it down about 3 times during that 10 minutes as well. So scrape the sides of the bowl. Now I'm going to add the eggs. I'm going to add them on low. I'm going to add 1 egg at a time. Or try to. Just mix them in 1 at a time, slowly. I think you see how I'm adding them. I'm not going to make you wait and watch me add the rest. The eggs are in there, just barely. Everyone adds the flour. And just add it slowly as well. I have at least the half of the flour in there. I'm just going to let this mix up for another minute. And start adding the rest of the flour. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to scrape down real well. So I've got all the batter off the paddle, the mixer paddle, and just supposed to get down deep and make sure everything's pretty much mixed. The directions say to oh look, there's some egg that's not mixed in there. We'll just mix it up then. I'm sure that's why it says to do that. And we're going to take a big blob or glob of it, about a cup. About a cup of the batter, and add some of your dark rum. Mix this together. I'm using Myers rum, which is the best, in my opinion. Alright, I have that mixed up. I'm going to add it back to the batter. And mix again. The directions said not to mix the eggs and the flour too much, kind of as if you are making muffins. And then just mix again. Mix this until it looks consistent. I have this mixed up, and where I think it looks consistent, but I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I was going to add it earlier, but I forgot because it's not suggested, but I'm going to add the salt anyway. And just mix it around for about 30 more seconds. Well, I got the cake batter in there, and what I did was I just put like a clump here and a clump there and clump, 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 clump around, and that's what it looks like. So what you want to do is take this and really pound it, because you want to get all that batter into the grooves here. You know, pound it really good, and then take it and kind of make a well in here, because it's going to rise. And kind of like if you've ever seen people put holes or a divot in a hamburger, you know, the middle of a hamburger always raises more. That's kind of the idea. Get it up around the sides, in the middle, like that. And now this is going, and oh, I have to tell you, this batter, is like, I don't know, maybe the best batter I've ever had. It tastes lovely, wonderful. So anyway, in my 350 degree oven, while the cake's in the oven, I'm going to take 1/4 cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to bring this up to a little boil, just to melt that sugar, and we're going to make some simple syrup. Well, the water has come up to a boil, and I'm just stirring it a bit. And I can go ahead and turn the water off. And I can see that the sugar is practically dissolved, and it will dissolve the rest away with the warm water, and just going to let this cool down. Here it is out of the oven, and it baked for 1 hour and 5 minutes. I'm going to let it cool down for 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes cooling off. It's still pretty hot. Now we're going to invert it and let it cool 10 more minutes. Well, it's cooled off its 10 minutes, and in here I have 3 tablespoons of that simple syrup that we made and 3 tablespoons of the rum. I mixed it together. We're just going to put that on our cake. Make it nice and moist and rummy. Well, I have pretty much all that simple syrup rum mixture on here. And we're going to let this cool. We're going to let the cake cool completely for a couple hours. Just make sure it's real nice and room temperature. Next, I'm going to make a glaze to go over the cake. And I have powdered sugar, icing sugar in there. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of water and 1 tablespoon of the rum. And just mix this up, stir it up. Just spoon the glaze over it, over your cake. I have a piece of the cake right here, and I can tell you already I've had some, and it's a dense cake that's very moist. It tastes buttery, a little bit rummy, and just really quite good. I really, really like it. And thanks so much for watching.